Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for game number 3 here in this best of 3 series. It's all coming down to this between Gambit Esports, one game number 1. Pretty nicely here, good strategy, executed to perfection in the end, and Team Spirit won game 2 in under 20 minutes with a Brood Mother draft, and Gambit will not let the same thing happen again here. Third ban Brood. Once again, the Tiny goes through. Again, it's all coming down to this. The winner moves up to face up against Vega straight after this game. And the loser is out of the tournament. It's as simple as that. eskillz, your thoughts?
5 seconds.
I mean, maybe banning Brood first phase is a little bit over the top, but I can't really blame them after that game.
Yeah.
Tiny, yeah, it's a really strong hero right now. Gambit follows up with Razor. We actually haven't seen a Razor picked or banned in this series, which is kind of unusual. The hero is very popular right now, but you see it here in game 3.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Razor, top of the disruptor. So that's another hero that I don't think it's been picked or banned in the last 2 games, is it?
I think they banned Disruptor in second stage in first game, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we haven't seen it at least, and it's a good hero, for sure.
Also one of the heroes that you normally see in a lot of games in this patch, like together with the Naga Siren, which is also not come out in the last 2 picks anyway, or last 2 games picks. So might see that come into play, and the Spirit recognize that as a threat and just straight up ban it out in the second phase.
And I want to point out one thing with the Disruptor here is that it's kind of a nice hero against Tiny, because against Tiny, heroes like Shadow Shaman or Rubik or whatever heroes that has stuns, like they suffer from his strategies, and obviously. But heroes like Disruptor or Faceless Void, their spells like their Silence or their Chronosphere, it doesn't, like the status system doesn't have an effect. Like it stays there until it stays there. Same with the kinetic field. So it's actually a way of shutting down Tiny, which won't suffer so hard from his resistance. That's a nice one for them.
Yeah.
And I think this is the FNG Dark Willow that I said he has been playing it a lot in pubs, so maybe he wants to show it off here.
Oh, all of a sudden this game got a lot more interesting with that particular hero. Like, I'm sure everyone has seen it at least once at this point in the pro scene. Like, it's even been extremely annoying back when it first showed up in Captain's Draft. I've been able to cast, I believe, the very first game for Dark Willow back then for the Captain's Draft qualifiers. And even back then, there hasn't been too many changes to Dark Willow, so it's still as obnoxious now as it was back then. So we'll see whether they can make good use of that. Gambit certainly have to find some sort of solution to that. Normally what you do is at least pick up a safe lane core that has some sort of magic immunity. Like Juggernaut really comes to mind as a really good one, because, or Lifestealer obviously.
Yeah.
Because then these heroes, they don't really care too much about the Dark Willow as far as their control spells are concerned.
Yeah, Nyx especially looks good right here because it's a counter to Tiny and Dark Willow. But I was gonna say they're probably gonna pick up their 4 now, and then we'll see what they do after that. But ET, it's a nice hero against Dark Willow because it's his Stomp and his ultimate will hit Dark Willow even if she's in her shadow form thing. So you want AoE damage against this hero that doesn't rely on you having to click on something. You can just shoot it out like SF or Elder Titan. Nyx is probably the best counter to Dark Willow, but it's gonna be a position 5 Willow, so you don't want to like overdo it.
Yeah. Alright, what other heroes you pick up here now? Still need your 5 position. Oh,
I think it's Willow 5. I think
Willow
FNG is gonna play Willow because Beaver. I mean, they could play Willow 4, but we'll see what they decide to do here.
Yep.
Not sure what heroes you want to pair up with Willow either. I know Puck Willow is like a super good combo because you will also be able to break the coil with his Terrorize spell.
well,
So it
that's an
is a Willow
interesting
4.
one. Yeah. I feel like it works better as a 4 position. Just because it's generally speaking, you're more mobile around the map as a 5 position, who's traditionally more that the lane support, either in mid or the safe lane or wherever. So, like, feel like you want to be able to play off the
5
map,
seconds
sneak a
remaining.
few experience points here and there just to get your levels up, because that's one big issue that you have. Early on, she's not actually that dangerous, but as soon as you have these extra levels coming out, like level 3 or 4, where she has her entire skill set available and can start doing more damage with the Shadow Realm, depending on what you prioritize, it's yeah, it's getting worse and worse, to say the least, especially for heroes like Disruptor. Like, I can certainly see situations where she can just solo kill him, certainly once she hits level 6.
I mean, this hero can solo kill a lot more than supports. But especially what I like her as 4 is that she kind of needs these items like Blink, Yule's, Veil, or 2 out of the 3. Like, she really does well when she gets a couple of items, so I do like that she's a position 4. This one.
Dire team pick.
Gambit Esports, alright. Going back towards the Brewmaster for Cheshire Cat.
Now we can see Gambit, they have a lot of team fight, just like game 1, which they won. Maybe they're kind of feeling they want to go back to that. Worked so well for them.
Yeah. I mean, just serve you well and just disrupting Dark Willow, if nothing else, or just a team fight in general. The team spirit is trying to get
5
together.
seconds remaining.
The Warlock on top as well, like, you have some ways to interrupt, disrupt, and just turn things into your favor, maybe even control up for the Elder Titan. Like, it's going to be kind of scary here for Gambit, once again, this teamfight lineup. All of this control from ET, Disruptor, and Brewmaster. Like, if they're able to keep Razor alive throughout the teamfight, if they can make sure that Team Spirit is not running away from you, so the Razor can actually make use of the damage that he's draining, I can definitely see them winning these kind of skirmishes.
Positive thing for Team Spirit though is that game 1 they had like no team fight whatsoever. Now they already have Warlock, Dark Willow, and even Tiny to some extent, and they have 2 more picks, so they're not gonna be in the same position as they were in game 1. So yeah, definitely not gonna look the same.
Radiant team ban.
Phantom lens.
PL here.
I saw Gareth in chat earlier. I believe it was after game 1, and he was saying, oh yeah, they're certainly gonna pick Phantom Lance of Illidan next. Obviously in game 2 it was not quite correct here, but I guess it's a late prediction here for game 3.
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, also one of his heroes next to the Chaos Knight, and in this game,
5 seconds remaining.
not too sure how I feel about it, honestly, because there's already Disruptor to set up, and the Brewmaster with the Dispel can also help get rid of some of these illusions.
I mean, Razor Links also stays on PL,
Yeah.
but that said, they don't have a lot of. They have the Bruce Dispel. That's the AoE they have. Sure, the Static Storm too. It kind of goes both ways because Phantom Laser he can always dodge the glimpse with his Doppelwalk, and he can glimpse ET Stomp. So
Dire
like,
team ban.
it's a really annoying like game for Gambit to play against this PL because they can't really catch him. But then again, they have some ways of dealing with him for sure.
Yeah. It comes down to what kind of game you're playing, right? If you're just trying to dodge around on the pickoffs of Gambit, like if they're just going from lane to lane trying to find kills on this PL, and he keeps dodging them out,
5 seconds
then
remaining.
that's all handy dandy, right? But if you force into team fights, if you force the Phantom Lancer to fight into you early, before he even has the Diffusal Blade or any sort of stab items, then yeah, it might just force him into that position where he's not comfortable to just go straight into the middle of team fights, rather than just dodging in and out, throwing out illusions here, throwing out Spirit Lances to just whittle away at people.
Yeah, for sure. They do ban out Tinker, which is the laser rockets and just March. It's definitely a good hero against PL. Not the best, but a good one.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright.
5 seconds remaining.
What are they looking for as last pick here for Team Spirit?
Could be
Radiant
offlane or
team
mid.
pick. Queen
So it's an offlane Tiny, mid Queen most likely.
Looks like it right now.
And once again, I like Queen because be sure they're against
You may now select your heroes.
Disruptor, which can be annoying for Queen, but it's very little catch on the side of Gambit. But this DK pick solves a lot of the issues actually. It's a nice stun, and DK is quite a nice hero against PL later on when he gets the Dragon form level 2 and 3. You have this AoE breath thingy going on for you.
Yep.
So you both solve the issues with not really any stance on Gambit sides and the peel issue. So it's a really nice pick, I think.
Yeah, just agree. I kind of like Gambit's lineup a little bit more than Team Spirit's, honestly. But there's always the Dark Willow, right? You cannot discount that hero for a second. And she certainly has the potential to just, if not win you the game, certainly win you the laning stage in the mid game.
For sure. And it's actually going to be Beaver playing Willow, so I guess he's been practicing it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this game, it's like, I wouldn't say any side has any like huge advantage in terms of draft. Both lineups has a lot of team fight. They have like, yeah, it's going to come down to play in this one, I'm sure.
And it's perfect for game 3, right? I would have been very sad if this was just another odd draft, another 20-minute game, but that doesn't seem to be on the cards right now. So settle in, folks. The winner will move on, face up against Vega. The loser will be out. In case you're just tuning in, it's as simple as that.
Prepare for battle.
Just spam the voice lines. Seems good.
It's good stuff.
At the very least, they're not all spamming the laugh on all of the heroes, because that gets annoying as I say that.
As you say.
That could get annoying very fast, I'm pretty sure.
That's disruptor laugh is actually the shortest laugh I've heard. Some of them have, like have you heard the gyrocopter laugh?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, kill me. Sounds like a psychopath.
Yeah. I think Scaraf even gets that that whole Vastly Eerie's whatever, that whole line.
Yeah, it's at 25, right?
At max level, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully no one gets that.
I don't think you can get there for a while, because if you get all 3 challenges now, that you get like 3 levels up to level 3, something like that. So imagine it will take quite a while for anyone to reach level 25.
You get 50 XP per win.
No,
so you just get
get 50 per game, 100 per win.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean, you just gotta grind a hell of a lot of Skywrath.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's gonna take a while for sure.
Yeah, it's mostly done through challenges, so you can just come up every 2 weeks. It's another 1500 XP, which is like 15 wins of a hero. Illidan, she forced into Doppelganger early on, as he takes quite a bit of damage here from Bignum as well as Cheshire Cat. So we head back into the game, focusing on this one, FNG. Joining up top to try and tilt things in their favor, but Cheshire Cat already dragging the creeps, doing that standard offlane thing.
Yep.
And Dark Willow in the mid lane. Already proving to be annoying, that Shadow Realm. It's... I don't know. We can rant about that later. Pretty sure we're gonna see it come into play a lot of the times this game.
We will have time to baby rage about Dark Willow being a hero.
Yeah. So how do you see these lanes develop? Because right now, Gambit certainly pulling out all the stops here, trying to make Phantom Lance uncomfortable.
I mean, for sure, Gambit's safe lane should be quite like, they should just win this, especially as they get levels on the Razor. He's just gonna win this lane harder and harder. But for now, Tiny's probably gonna do okay for the first couple of levels. And yeah, I think they're really nice for Bignum to be here and just annoy Peel, because yeah, I think lanes will be slightly in Gambit's favor, but not by that much. Like, it's not really gonna matter too much. It's gonna come down to who can execute what moves and what not, and yeah.
There was a bit of threat potential, as there always is against the Dragon Knight in these early levels. Right now he's still sitting at level 1 Dragon Blood. So Team Spirit trying to make use of that, but just spamming out that damage over time. But once he hits level 2, level 3 on that skill, obviously, it's gonna get much harder to zone him out.
It kind of goes like this: like level 1 and 2, you try to kill Dragon Knight as much as you can. Then as he hits level 3, you kind of give up on it, and at level 5, like, you don't even harass him anymore.
Yeah,
because it just doesn't matter.
Just a waste of mana at some point, right? Even later on, like, sometimes what you want to do is just keep harassing to just set up for the Sonic Wave kill at level 6. But it's not easy to do up against the DK, for sure, so...
Yeah.
Wouldn't be too surprised to see G rotate out somewhere else and try and get a kill on one of these other lanes, perhaps on the Razor down bottom.
Yeah, either that or both supports try to rotate in to kill the Dragon Knight, because that's what you can. You can kill him, but harassing is not really. Oh, he gets.
You can kill the courier though. All right.
That's a nice one. DD.
Link across with the DD, yeah, making that very easy. And now, there's a cat up top. Got a little bit on him, but yeah. Stop. Will be dodged. There's a bit of back and forth continuing up there.
Yeah, and Beaver is on the bottom lane, so he wants to make sure that Darkseid can't take over this lane, and I do think that's the right call. He's doing this like Razor doesn't have any region left, and he's just being obnoxious here. Good TP from Vanskor, maybe this is a kill.
Oh, yeah, a lot of damage being drained. Shadow will have to use harass, and that'll be the first blood very easily. Bramble Maze is a pretty good spell, but if you're not under pressure, you can just walk between the lines there.
Yeah, wiggle through it.
Well done indeed. An extra advantage down bottom, just taking a bite off the Dark Willow. Illidan, of course, once again with the dodge on the stump. Unwilling to really dive in further. Would have had another Spirit Lance available, but not enough damage to actually kill the Elder Titan.
Yeah.
And, down bottom. It continues though, Beaver. Rejoining the party here, Dahak. Has to dodge it out. And another nuke. Not enough, still on level 1.
I mean, this is super annoying for Razor, because Razor, he just wants this lane to be 1 versus 1, and he just wants to link Tiny, you know, own him. But Beaver being here, like, it really sucks to be a Razor like this.
If more region left, I think him bringing a salve over. Vanskor was just zoning out the Willow. But now they've already forced 2 supports down here to repair this lane for Dahak. Doesn't necessarily make it easy for Illidan though, because Cheshire can already up to level 4. Drunken Haste Spam, obviously up against a melee hero in particular. It's awkward, it's annoying.
Yeah, he can be a bit obnoxious in this lane. Get some CS and whatnot, but I think it's right from Gambit, because Razor was starting to struggle quite a bit, and he just needs to secure his lane and make sure that he doesn't fall behind. Because Razor, it's a hero that you want to lane dominate and then just go into the game with, you know, having more farm, and then like you want to be a big presence, because you don't really flash farm that well as other heroes.
Yep. Easy. Actually dropping kind of low here. No level 6 yet on G. Beaver's hanging around, blocking the path here somewhat with the Bramble Maze, but again BZ will be able to make his way through, but FNG is smoked up to make his way into this lane, linking up both of these heroes. All healthy enough.
Level 3 Dragon Blood.
Ooh.
Oh, Vanskor is dead though.
That's questionable. Oh no! It's both!
Oh god.
That was interesting. It's like a suicide pact, right?
Yeah, they were like, let's hug before we die.
Yeah.
I mean, he was gonna deny him, but it looked. That was actually beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it really was. A bit awkward. I mean, I guess they felt that Dragon Knight was gonna be able to regen enough anyway, that the rest of the Link wasn't gonna kill him with how little health Vanskor had in the first place, but apparently they didn't do the math correctly on that.
Yeah. That's a tough break for them. But oh, they're going on him again. He has a DD on G again. And he has Sonic Wave. He's dead here. Oh, really good stick.
Not just yet. He has to blink forward again with a stun, and there it is. He does get the kill in the end. Avalanche coming through now. Seeking focus, made rotation in. Victim will be chased off. That'll be the end of that. Yeah, this Dragon Knight actually being put under more pressure than we maybe thought. That first step a little bit awkward, but that second one again helped out by the Rune of Many Winds to double damage, enabling that for G.
Yeah, I mean, you saw how hard it was to kill there, even with a DD. So it's like he's a hard one to kill.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, getting this kill, like, it's super good, because as a Dragon Knight, you rely on not dying in laning stage. So every death really costs you a lot.
Yep. Well,
He actually
trying
has
to
3
stick around.
points in Shadow Strike, by the way.
Oh wow.
That's something we not see every day, but it is working.
Yeah. Let me see, just the 2 points. Up against melee heroes and then just maxing out the Scream of Pain as quickly as possible, just for more kill potential when you start rotating around, but also just to farm. Just all in on laning stage right now. It's Illidan. They were able to bring down a tier 1 top. Cheshire Cat unable to stop that pressure. And now Team Spirit once again looking for BZZ, but again no Sonic Wave. Plenty of time for Gambit to bring in some help, but it's not gonna have to do that. It looks like the Stomp zoning from Bigman is gonna be enough.
They're being so obnoxious to this DK.
Alright, so all of that is still at the cost of the Hawk farming to hard content down bottom. Like, as his lane has been completely
11 on
banned right
top.
now. Okay.
Use his doppelwalk.
Again, with that, with the Brew Ultimate, able to set up for the Stomp. Vanskar still available with the Glimpse. Illidan does not have another Doppelganger available, so they'll just be able to run him down.
The heal, is it enough? No.
Shouldn't be. At the same time, they don't have a lot of extra bursts to work with. It's gonna take them a while to kill him. Now, another Doppelganger. Still being healed up.
So the heal.
Yeah, no way he survives, I was gonna say, but no, gee. He had enough of that. It's coming in. Everyone's fatal bottom up, at least Bignum and Cheshire Cat is trying to TP out. They need to do some more damage to Bignum quickly, but it's not fast enough.
Clutch TP.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, G is going 4 points in Shadow Strike.
That's something that you see out of, like, crazy SCA 4 position Queen of Pains.
I'm intrigued to see if it's working.
Yeah, I guess.
New meta?
So I'm gonna see how that develops. I mean, it's one of these spells that isn't all that useful in the later parts of the game, even if it's maxed out. So
I mean, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If like through all the takes, but it's just that it's very slow damage.
Yeah. But my point is, like, having that large amount of damage from maxed Shadow Strike early in the game is naturally gonna look more effective than it would be later on, level 1 stanky and whatnot.
For sure. For sure. I can also see it's being like super annoying for heroes like Razor, because Razor, he wants to link people, he wants to run around and fight, have high movement speed and stuff, but having a level 4 Shadow Strike on you, I mean, you're gonna be very slow.
Yep. Yeah, stun up. Stun not being channeled up just yet. He's level 5 now on the Dark Willow, so 3 points up on a Bramble Mace. With extra root duration there.
Invisibility.
But so far we have seen the... I've yet to see the Willow be, like, deadly, right? I mean, she's been annoying, but hasn't really had that crazy impact where you say, alright, that hero's super unbalanced, please delete it out of the game, right?
I mean, her strongest point is when she hits level 12, because that's when her ulti damage goes up. It goes from 60 per like attack to 140, so it amps up more than 60 to 120. Like, it's 20 extra damage, so that's when it goes really crazy. But like, her always strong starts at level 6.
Got everything on the Queen of Pain here. The Stomp after the stun, and the burst down was just enough. And she gets out of the Static Storm, but unable to get the blink away. That's a really big kill for Gambit. Taking down the Quapper Notch.
Yeah, it's a really big one for sure.
Especially with a Dragon Form committed. Get that range stun here, also be able to do a good amount of damage to this tier 1 tower, if not kill it outright. Depending on how much you want to commit.
A ridiculous thing with Willow, I feel I need to say this, that this Terrorize spell, it's always 4 seconds. Like level 1 or 3, it doesn't matter. It's always 4 seconds, and that's such a big thing in team fights. you make your entire team just run to base for 4 seconds. Yeah, poor G.
TP in, gets close back. Try to go for some weird blink play. Not sure if that's possible, honestly.
No, it's not. I actually, maybe there is a frame there where you're like between the blinks, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing when he went this Shadow Strike build is you obviously want to max Scream of Pain too, so you're gonna have Blink at level 1 for a long time, which means that there's a lot bigger chance of him getting caught.
Cooldown indeed. Doesn't even want to max it out now because at this point Scream of Pain gets more and more important as top lane though. Alright. Azor being dropped, Dahak being run down. A couple of heroes here.
Dire's top tower is under
A little bit too far forward as he changes lanes, is giving some extra space to Cheshire Cat down bottom. Perhaps look towards finishing up his Blink Dagger. Want to get some of that extra team fights, team fight prowess online.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game still feels rather static. I mean, 13 minutes in, still have G and BZ not really moving away from his mid lane at all, apart from this one movement up top from the quad.
Yeah. It's pretty weird game in that sense, for sure. But it could be that it's a Dragon like me, so of course he just wants to get the tower. And G doesn't want to move because they don't want to get away. But here's a fight.
He gets it now. Willow comes through, doing quite a bit of damage to Vanscore, but wants to focus on BZ, who's still hanging around, but no way out of this one. Despite the glimpse, COG gets the ultimate off. Enough to finish off BZ outright this time. They do lose the tower in the end. You get a counter kill, now they can shrine up and perhaps put on some more pressure.
Yeah, and I think this is where they start to move away from it, because G stayed there because he didn't want to lose the tier 1 tower, or he wanted to delay it as much as possible. And BCC stayed there because he wanted to get the tower. That's what it was all about, I think. So now BCC is probably just going to go to another lane and start pressuring that tier 1, and G is going to try to get some kills. Perhaps.
Now TK Phobos is the one hunting that Endless Rune, just already trying out the Shadow Blade life that he's looking for.
And Razor looks to be a bit in trouble, perhaps.
Can actually kill him here. Vanscore certainly a much easier kill, so gonna go for the toss back on that, almost into the rambles. Quite enough there. But they got the kill anyway, so Beaver snagging that up with that freaking Bedlam already off cooldown.
Also, Razor is actually super fat. He has booster travel, drums.
Yep.
He has 115 last hits. He's doing really well for himself.
Quietly farming away here. He died once up top as he overextended a bit, but that was about it really.
Yeah.
So
that struggle he had in the beginning, yeah, we don't see any of it anymore. He's having a good life.
So how much is that Boots of Trouble come into play? Like, what's the reasoning behind going straight for that?
Boots of Travel is amazing on Razor because you obviously want as much movement speed as you can on this hero, and just being able to TP around, like the TP, it's way shorter cooldown, it's really good. But it's just that usually on Razor you feel you can't afford it because you're kind of this mid-game oriented hero.
I thought Cheshire Cat comes in, will Blink Clap, ultimate used here as well, but Team Spirit already on the way back. They get the glimpse on Queen of Pain, and he will be right-clicked down. Beaver also snapped back. BZ gave his life for that. He got caught off guard first by Team Spirit as Gambit made a smoke rotation towards mid lane. But they certainly pay for it here. Now DK was actually caught Invis up top. Glimpse back into a bit of a safer position actually, so nice and kinetic field actually, keeping both of them in there. They don't want to continue the fight up against the Phantom Lancer, who of course already has the Diffusal Blade at the ready as well.
But basically, with this Boots of Travel, you always want Boots of Travel on Razor, but you usually feel that you need some like face or power threat because it's just better for your laning stage.
Yeah.
With Daxak this time, he feels he could get away with it and not lose too much of his momentum, and it's paying off right now.
BZ not again. Alright.
Having a tough one.
If there's anything that's not going right for Gambit, and certainly this DK, like being pressured constantly in lane, being picked up a couple of times, even outside of the lane here in very quick succession. 0-5 and 2, and DK Phobos is not even done yet. Very fast, finds Vanscore with a combo, and that's very easy indeed. Very easily dispatched. And this is such a deadly combination too, isn't it? With DK Phobos and Beaver both running around.
Yeah, it's super scary, and it's an interesting build that Phobos has gone. He's gone 1-4-4. He maxed the 3 throw. I've seen this build more and more lately. I don't know really what's the thing about it, but people
bit
seem
odd,
to
right?
think that maxing the tree throw is
Radiant's middle tower has
the
fallen.
way to go now.
It does give you extra cooldown.
Yeah, that's a big one,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's probably the biggest one because bonus damage 1%, meh. It's sizable on Tiny because he has a lot of damage to begin with, but yeah, I mean, if you max out the Avalanche instead, you get a lot of burst damage from that combo potential.
Yep.
I might go again FNG. Being caught out first with the stun straight up from BZC. He bursted down. He is indeed. No way to turn around with his ultimate and still on cooldown for 15 seconds. So, do you feel that Gambit is still alright here with just the Razor being on top and the Brewmaster having this Blink Dagger now? Or do they still need to be scary and wait for these BKBs?
I'm a little bit worried for them because I think with this BKB Razor that he's very close to getting, I think they're gonna start doing something.
Find the glimpse of DK Phobos. He was there though with the Terrorize! Oh my god. Alright, can we now start to complain about Dark Willow?
Yes.
Because that is a sick play. Every other... almost every other lineup just has no way to respond to that. Glimpse back into the Static Storm up against like 3 or 4 heroes around you, you're just dead. But no, Beaver just throws down that second ultimate that he has from like the range on that. Like, it's not just the duration, it's also the range.
I mean, he could basically stand in his base and he could shoot that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Dire's bottom tower
Save this fellow Rockman. Now it's Team Spirit's turn to try and find somebody. They have the Sonic Wave at level 2, of course Bedlam. Level 1, but still nice little supplemental damage.
But I think what Gambit, they want to start making some moves with this BKB and Razor because their DK is not doing well and Peel is doing really well. So Peel is gonna become a problem because the hero that should solve the issues of all the illusions is DK, and yeah, he's doing horribly.
Yep.
So they need to try to shut him down a little bit or take control of the map.
Try to get in DK Phobos, but there's the 4 stuff now on top of the Shadow Blade, so a lot of mobility on that Tiny as Gambit will seem like a step behind here. Can't really get anything going their way when it comes to kills at this point. So they're grouping up to at least find a tower, T1 bottom. A very juicy target, already chipped away at a little bit earlier. Question is, does Team Spirit want to respond to this? Doesn't look like it right now.
No, looks they're just not really in position. So DK finds a DD this time, not only Queen of Pain that carries the DDs around.
We'll get this here one for free, more or less. But they have to respond to these pushes here. Both of these other lanes being shoved in by Team Spirit. Golden alone up top, just doing his own thing, and with a catapult there, he'll be able to claim a tier 2 more than likely here.
Yeah. It's gonna be a trade at least here. I think even Spirit could try to defend bottom, they just need to be worried about the glimpse. Yeah, that's why PL TPs in first, because he can always remove that glimpse from himself.
Yep.
The doppelganger.
So it just ends up being a 1-for-1 tower trade, tier 1 for tier 2, with this tier 2 bottom at the very least taking a sizable amount of damage. But overall, it seems the Team Spirit is getting the grips on this game more and more, especially with DK Phobos continuing to scout out, finding these kills, and this would be a big one. Onto the raids, that does have some help link in from G, but BKB comes out. Sonic Wave would not be enough to finish the job here, so now they just call up for the retreat. Forced out of the big item cooldown. Of course, the 10-second charge one, nothing really.
Yeah, they used the Golem, which is, you know, it's a very big cooldown, but getting this BKB low is super big for them. It's if they get this BKB to 5 seconds, like as soon as they get that, it's just so much leeway for them in team fights.
Yeah.
Daxak just need to be so worried when it goes down.
Yeah.
This Tiny, this Dark Willow, like they have so much damage when there's no BKB.
Oh yeah. Things as well, like with these cooldowns, even if you use them, even if you don't have the golem available for like almost 3 minutes, that only really ends up mattering if there is a situation coming up where you really could have used that golem much better, right?
Yeah.
Namely,
yeah.
if Gambit is somehow able to find another tier 2 off of that, as they're looking for up top now. Or a team fight of some sort, right? Crushing Team Spirit, but so far it doesn't really seem like it, because Team Spirit, they have other ways to just keep up their own pressure. Like with how strong Phobos and Illidan are in particular. Stefan Cheshire Cat does have the ultimate to work with here, but can he get it off with the Terrorize? He's out of mana now. Oh my god.
That works. But yeah, it's exactly like we say. It doesn't feel that great to have to use Golem like that, but it might not even matter. And sure, he doesn't have Golem now, but the Brew is dead. They can't contest his Roche, so...
Well, they'll be able to get themselves a second life, or G maybe? To put on him or Illidan.
It is very good at being annoying in Roche Pit though. Kinda looks like they wanna contest this.
He's threatening, I mean, you have that BKB, still 9 seconds, the stun coming through, some will be dodge pieces here, he's trying to make his way, gets a stun off into the static storm onto Tiny. That's a big one, Weaver, no terrorize this time to help him out, Roshan is low, so is Illidan, gets glimpsed back into the Roche Pit here, but, oh god, he finds a way out to the high ground, and he can try and finish it off, FNG. Well, this is where the golem would have been super useful. Instead, he just gets right-click down, but plenty of time for Illidan maybe to take space, but he just dies to the AoE. G finally with the ultimate coming through, and
he's not the crowd.
him and DK Foremost just cleaning house together with Beaver. What happened there?
He denied the Aegis.
What?
I mean, he was in Panda form, so he was like, I can't take this.
What the hell is going on? Alright, I pressed the replay button, so let's take a look at that. See the initiation once again there from onto the Tiny. That's what shit starts with the fan in a moment there. Illidan, nice little doppelganger up on the high ground. He walks back in. As the small screen we see Cheshire Cat being gone on the DK Phobos, but should we turn into anything? Both of them will be able to get out. That Aegis deny.
I mean, very clutch by Cheshire Cat to do that, because it's like... Yeah. He realized, I can't take it, I'm in Bruling form, and there's only enemy heroes around, so I'll just deny it. Because if, let's say, Queen or Tiny gets at Aegis, yeah, they're in big trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, can't say I've seen that at all. I can't remember the last time we've seen an Aegis deny in a pro game. Snatches, yeah.
KYXY,
It was a bit of a different situation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, great plays, as I said, from Gambit. Themselves on the game here. Team Spirit, though, is still eked themselves out quite a bit of a gold lead after that, up to 8k now, just because they focus so much on Roshan, Rod Illidan inside the Roche Pit, that they never really could account for Tiny, or the Queen of Pain, or Dark Willow for that matter, right? In these kind of team fights, Beaver's left to operate. G-kill there.
Yeah, I mean, they did deny the Aegis and whatnot, but they didn't win the fight. Like, they got Illidan, it's a nice kill, but wasn't enough for them.
Yeah.
And they're in a pretty deep hole right now. They do have this really big and fat racer, but DK is still struggling. Getting
this
close
kind of
to his BKB though.
From this kind of duo core, right? With the Dragon Knight, it's more or less relegated to utility position, where you just throw the stun and a bit of a beef in the front lines, but
yeah,
one damage deal is not going to be enough.
Willow is Yules and Blink now, so he has about everything he needs to be his full cancer. Tough for Gambit.
So Blink, Curse Crown into Yules, get the stun, then you get the Battle damage. Should be killing pretty much anybody.
You can also do the where you stand in like a wood wherever when someone is pushing out the lane, and then you terrorize them and they just blink after with the other ulti Bedlam on top of them, and
Yeah.
they usually just die.
Scanning.
We have a lot of ways to kill heroes with Willow.
No doubt we're gonna see some of those ways. As once again, right now, that duo again on the hunt, DK and Beaver. Like, Beaver alone can solo kill anybody. Then it's just getting so much easier if you have that extra bit of initiation and control from the time you just set up.
Like, both these heroes make a lot of pressure on their own, but together they just blow anyone up
Has fallen.
without even
Not even
questioning.
taking many risks, right? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, like whoever dies in a second and then just get out.
Alright. Gambit looking for smoke gank themselves, but right now, all they can really smoke gank is the tier 2 tower. Say that though, geez. Blinking his way in. Could be a big one. Does catch a glimpse of Anscore though. Ooh. Don't
He
quite
has
have the
Linkers,
vision.
though.
Dire's
Willow is sleeping in here. Being slightly crazy.
Not sure about this one. Yulcept is still keeping him safe though. Now G finds an ultimate. Beaver, he's still alive. But Cheshire get now with the ultimate. Big him in the middle of that too. Gambit trying to run over Team Spirit right now. They do find Illidan in the side here. Can they finish the job here with the right clicks? Can they find the real one? They can indeed at the end. But at what cost? Gambit lost the rest of the heroes while Razor was dealing with that. Now it's only Dark here with the Brootlings timing out. Real Cheshire Cat coming in, but G with the triple kill. Poe was just way too beefy and they're all just sitting in the upheaval. Cheshire Cat can't even walk away, trying to get a little bit get out of there a little bit faster, going on the barrel, but it's not really a thing, guys. It's not really a thing. It's just a taunt. Doesn't actually increase the movement speed.
Now 2 fights in a row. They have dealt with Peel instantly, but Peel is not the only problem. It's Dark Willow, it's Queen of Pain, and it's Tiny, and they're just winning the fights with them or for them.
It's such a stark difference, right? We talked about with DK being where he is at. Gambit only has this one damage dealer. It's very strong and very farmed Razor, right?
Yep.
And it was enough to kill Illidan more or less 1v1. But Team Spirit, they have 4 of these, as you just said, right? Illidan, Tiny, Dark Willow, Quap, all of them have such a huge impact in these team fights, so you can deal with one, but you can't deal with all of them.
Then of course the Warlock with the Fatal Bonds and the Upheaval, and even the Rock, like, it's a great backline hero for them.
Yeah.
Just make it so much more annoying for Gambit to move around in these fights. Glimpse on FNG.
Pretty nice, but once again...
Willow is there! Hey, bye-bye!
Oh my god. DK was probably thinking about going into that. Would have been a nice one here, both of them being linked up. Not being a little bit too scared. There's no way to take or no reason to take risk right now. Team Spirit.
No.
It's building the lead more and more. 30 minutes in, 12k ahead in terms of gold. Experience 15k and win probability about 75% in their favor. Thanks, Dodo Plus.
Radiant are scanning.
Alright, so what do you do now if you're Gambit? I mean, head-on 5-on-5 doesn't really work out, does it?
Dire's top tower is under
It's tough for them.
Dire's
I'm not
structures
sure.
are fortified.
Like, getting tougher by the minute for them. I think fighting 5-on-5 or together is the way to go for them. They need to, however, do it so that can, like, maybe they can start a fight with getting a pick off, not start a fight like instantly where Team Spirit expects them to be 5. But alright, they're being gone on top here. They use Rock.
Well, not really in anybody. Beaver gets glimpsed back. Cheshire gets BKB off before the follow
This could
can
be a
through,
good
but they
fight
find
for them.
Vines. Then go to side. G will be able to help finish it off. Dahak now with that BKB trying to do some damage, and he should find DK Focus here. BZ also throwing in some extra nukes. 1-4 trade suddenly in favor of Gambit this time. As there are people not
Illidan is
being
alone.
able to channel that a whole lot. Illidan, yeah, can I catch him on the side to get rid of some of these illusions? He's trying to get himself into the trees, but he's in this with the Shadow Blade of his own, actually. G throws down an ultimate. Not too much damage being done at this instance. They have no detection ready here for the Phantom Lancer. Not expecting that Shadow Blade, perhaps. As Bignum finds a nice little stomp into the Nurse Blade as Elton rejoins the party now.
This is great for Gambit.
So far, so good. I mean, they're all staying as a unit. They're not really dropping low. And finally, to find Illidan, keeping track of him this time. They do burst him down. Bignum G is trying to finish him off, but he cannot do it up against the rest of them, just throwing the bodies in between. Yeah, but somehow they win the team fight after Team Spirit. Well, they were the ones being confident, initiating into them.
So what happened there is that...
God, G just blinked in there. They have control here. BZ trying to walk in before Dragon Tail gets stunned up though. Everyone linked now with Beaver buying back to do some crazy amount of damage. That's one down. Get the Yules onto Dark. Canceling the TP, but he's still pretty damn fast on his feet. I need something else to catch up to him, and G is that. Blink forward, extra slow, forcing out another BKB. It's down to 5 seconds. I think was before even, but another blink forward. Extra nuke, trying to be forced out. Vansco TPing in, gets combo to terrorize. The stun to try and buy some extra time, but with the stun already channeled out, nothing that Vansco can do to counter that out. He'll be the sacrifice instead of Dark. Whew.
They get a couple of kills, but yeah, I want to point what happened in that, why it went so well for Gambit, because FNG, he used the rock and it whiffed completely. And then Team Spirit initiates on Brew, and they use the Dark Willow initiation with the Tiny combination. And he just popped BKB on Brew, so they whiffed the initiation and the rock, which enabled Gambit to actually take that fight. As well as Daxak has a newly picked up Shivas, which is really good against all of Team Spirit, really. Especially Peel and Tiny.
Shivas, also Maelstrom for more lightning. Because obviously that's what you need on Razor.
I mean, lightning with lightning equals stronger lightning, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. DK Phobos kind of isolated here, gets glimpsed back into the static storm. This time, 5 views around him, surely he dies. There we go. No terrorize shenanigans. Wasn't cooldown actually, funnily enough. Now shall the battle turn, says Bignum, and you might be right. Roshan's not up yet, unfortunately for them. 30 seconds on the clock on that still. Would have been quite a catch for Gambit. They might still have a bit of a timing window. DK was on the sidelines for a long time. How scared do Team Spirit have to be right now after the team fight, after the pickoff?
They need to respect the BKBs on Gambit. They can't just initiate on someone that has the BKB up. They need to bait them out and then, you know, reset the fight and then take it from there. What they did, like why it went so bad, firstly, they wasted rock. And then they just wasted an entire initiation on someone who has BKB. And I think they didn't even think about his BKB. They just like ran right in like, let's blow up the Brew. And like, they weren't positioned to be like, okay, he's gonna pop BKB, what do we do after that? But that's what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, Roshan not falling terribly fast here. Skimmit go into the pit. A couple of illusions from Illidan. Working their way in. G also taking the high ground. There's a rock being dropped with the terrorize, just throwing them out of the pit into that sonic wave.
A lot of damage.
Ah, there it is. Illidan coming in. They actually find a stun on the real one with the Earth Splitter coming through. Zoning out Beaver. Illidan cannot continue this fight alone, but DK4 was finally joining the party, finds the control, and the nuke on Dark. He's down for the count. 85 seconds on the sidelines, not coming back, and this is what Gambit has to get the hell out. The Yules and Curse Crown combo will secure the kill onto Dragon Knight here, that combo that we talked about earlier with Beaver, while Illidan also finishes up the Elder Titan in the side. This time Team Spirit, well, they casted their spells and actually connected with their spells this time as Vansco's being run down by G. 4-for-0 trade, and Roshan super low. Of course, a gift on top of that for Team Spirit. They're right back where they were before at 12k.
And that, now they did exactly what I said they should do. They just like kind of baited out the BKBs, they shot spells from long range, being annoying, like, but not fully committing. And then they use their stuff, and then they kind of re-engage, and they just tear them down.
Joshua Cat has to pop the BKB to keep himself out of there. He's trying to push out his bottom lane at least, but... well, Team Spirit ante-portas or something like that.
I mean, they're
working
probably
away.
at least one side here.
Yeah, with the 2 catapults with Tiny wailing away, they'll certainly finish up this mid-Rex. And yeah, there's no reason not to go straight for bottom, is there? They have a huge crew over there as well. They have Aegis, they have Cheese, both on Illidan.
Yeah. They're missing Sonic Wave and the Golem, but I mean, they're super strong right now, so...
But Sonic Wave doesn't even matter at this point. We saw it hit on a couple of heroes, so it was not the biggest amount of damage, but now it's nice little Static Storm. The catch OG into it. They need some follow-up damage, so BZZ with the stun, with the Hack roaming in. On top of that, Earth Splitter. Nicely done indeed, taking down one of these big cores. And now the glimpse back onto Bignum. Shadow Realm TP. The stomp is there though to cancel this. They're trying to run down the Warlock, and they will be able to finish him off. Beaver next on the list, nicely timed to breathe fire. And they do respond, but at what cost?
Yeah, they lost 2 sides, or they didn't lose fully 2 sides. They lost 3 Raxes out of 4, so not terrible. I guess. I mean, the bright side is, hey, we got some kills, but yeah, it's kind of tough for them right now.
Yeah. So not look good, but these kind of things certainly help if we keep finding these glimpse plays. BK4 was once again the target. Could be kind of a freebie in that is.
And Radiance and Brew, that is they have Radiance and Shiva now, the 2 items that are like really nice against PL. Of course, Cheshire Cat is just gonna be a big nuisance in fights with it. But the big issue is that DK BKB is down to 6 seconds, Racer BKB is down to 5 seconds, and Brewmaster's BKB is down to 6 seconds. So it's like it's gonna be a lot of space for Dark Willow and Tiny. Yeah. And even the Fatal Bonds and Queen. Like, they have so much magic time on Team Spirit, so when these BKBs go down, it's scary.
Yeah.
And now Nullifier on Queen as well, so they might not even have to pop BKBs. Or be allowed to pop BKBs.
Yeah, it's the mini Doom build again on G. But on the other side, Gambit, Razor, the first one in this game to level 25, went for the extra 100 attack speed. Would expect here. He's hitting super fast, and if he gets a good drain off, if he's able to stay alive for these fights, he will be able to do damage. Just a matter of, can he stay alive? Can he dodge that control coming out of Team Spirit with low BKB? It's a very narrow timing window indeed. Now,
yeah,
Team Spirit,
it's very hard.
want to fight just to find the root. Ilden right in the middle of that. BKB comes through
Ages,
first.
so
Static Storm completely whiffs as Cheshire Cat blinks in, trying to control up Ilden, who's just walking away and look up his own BKB. Space created as BZ. Cross pop his zone up against a Terrorize here. Bubble Split used finally as they get rid of the Golem. Alright. Off to a good start. Excuse me. On Gambit, exchanging some ultimates, but they need to find more. But they can't. They're just walking away, and I don't know that they'll all be able to. Cheshire Cat. That Earth Panda's not exactly fast on his feet. They will be able to run him down. Even with the blink, where's G at? Not actually one of these pursuers, so unable to catch up. He's trying to find BZ instead.
They might get him.
Oh. Peeping out inside the trees, he'll be fine. Alright. Golem exchange for Static Storm. 40 seconds. DK
I think
ultimate.
this is go time. They still have ages.
Yeah.
They're
All of
gonna
the
wanna
ultimates
force
used
this one.
from Gambit. Only the one big one from Team Spirit.
Even DK form just times out, so.
Very hard fight for Gambit to take now. Up and down high ground. Spirit just check the base game here, chipping away at the tower. Still being very safe, just letting the illusions do the work. Vanscore takes all the way back to the high ground at this point. There will be another Static Storm in at least 10 seconds as Cheshire Cat just blinks in. Couple right clicks here and there. BKB already forced out, just buying time. That's all they're looking for right now. They are successful.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Whew.
Yeah, Aegis is out, and they're just gonna get the shrine.
Radiant's top shrine is gone.
It's still worth remembering the Gambit. 1.5 set of racks. So one team fight is all the Team Spirit really needs to win at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, one team fight away, and it's all about can Gambit hold on. BKB on Tiny now.
Vibex status looking decent here for Gambit, but you don't have it on BZZ or Vanscore. Now the smoke gank. They find something here, this might just end the game and end the series. Waiting for someone to go own show. Dark not the easiest one to bring down, fairly tanky. Of course he does have that buyback available. one of these games. 40 minutes
Think
in, going into the late game, just...
Game is probably gonna slow down until the next Aegis now, and that's where
Radiant's bottom shrine.
everything is gonna come raining down. That's what both teams needs to fight.
Yeah. Sure, guys still having fun at least. Going down a taunt every once in a while. But bottom lane,
Has fallen.
trying to force out a reaction out of the Dragon Knight here. No actual support for Beaver, so that'll be
Radiant
just
are
fine.
scanning.
Deception possibility here for Vanscore, but nah, not really. Right, are there any more items that either of these teams want to pick up, or just levels? If you look at the...
Really
Cheshire Cats would love to have that surprise with cooldown, right? To have it available every single time.
For sure, but it's gonna come down to play now. Like, sure, some items would be could be fine. Like Nullifier is always an item that Queen has it, and I don't know if someone else is going for it on Gambit, but like Nullifier is always one of these items that can really own a team fight just because you allow someone to not pop BKB, or you don't allow them.
Yep.
Vasker is going for an Aghanims, that's also a huge one.
Are scanning.
MKB on Dragon Knight, that's pretty nice since Ilden is going for the Butterfly. So, I mean, we have some nice items coming up here, but it's mainly gonna come down to who can like execute their play here.
Yeah.
Not too much items.
Especially the Disruptor Axe, like, would be helpful if you was level 20 already with it, plus 180 GPM. As it stands right now, it doesn't have a lot of ways to actually get that money for that axe.
Yeah, it's a long road for him to get that. Smoke up.
I like this though, there's not completely just sitting in your base the entire game, just trying to find these pickoffs. While we are in a situation where both teams are just, or certainly Team Spirit, are just waiting for the next Roche. Naturally you tend to spread out a little bit more, just farm more efficiently. This could be a way for Gambit to just find a pickoff here if they just had the vision filled, and he's showing himself now up against BZZ. The glimpse back into the stack storm will be BKB'd off. Alright. It was a 9-second charge, pretty fresh one there from Ilden still. It's a minor victory, but probably not one that we're really looking for, considering that they popped the DK ultimate for it as well as the static storm.
Hello.
Hello?
I seem to have lost connection there for a second, but if you said something to me, apologize for that.
It's fine. There's nothing really changing here, but these kind of pickoffs, they can have a big impact here. 50 seconds on the sidelines now. I guess it's the same cooldown as the ultimate. It's not the biggest of deals.
No, the question is here is, yeah, no, Roshan is not gonna spawn, so that would have been a really big one if Roshan spawned as he died, but
Yeah.
not gonna be the case. This game is very...
It's pretty tense at this point, right?
I mean, both teams know that this is 1-1, you know? One mistake and you might be out.
Yep.
So it's of course very tense here now, and both teams... I really don't think Gambit is gonna like let Team Spirit have Roshan, because then it's gonna... Yeah, they're going out right now here on FNG.
Drops the golem. Terrorize coming through, not hitting anybody this time around, so they will be able to bring him down. But Illidan finishing the job onto Bignum. Immediate buyback is that's a lot of right click damage here coming in onto Dark. Illidan just running him down with or without the link, forcing him all the way back. You know, G ready to finish him off with a couple of right clicks, not even using that ultimate. Now he has it available for a few more heroes. The Nullifier, the Silence, they burst him down. Despite the Static Storm, despite Bignum's ult, they do bring down Illidan in the end, but at what cost? They need some buybacks here. They get the one from Razor immediately. BZZ still holding on to it.
Actually, Illidan doesn't have buyback here, so...
Yeah.
They probably can't get Roche on this.
Is this an opportunity for Gambit here to just... You must know that Roshan is about to respawn.
I mean, if Gambit realizes that, okay, he bought Butterfly now, he's not buying back, maybe he doesn't have buyback, and they go Roche. I guess they don't have DK, and they don't really have any Roche damage, so it's probably just gonna be a stalemate even further until both heroes are up.
Well, a bit awkward as it stands. Like, what's the buyback status here? How much gold does he need? Illidan doesn't need a whole lot of gold, so once he's back alive, he'll be able to farm that up.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much tension. But Gambit, yeah, they do. Hey, he didn't buy back. Maybe we can force this one. But yeah, Razor, he just doesn't deal enough damage on Roche.
Take them forever and a day to finish it off. The question is, do they feel like they need to try that? DK4 actually fine and pops a BKB. Throws on a Dahak. He took a lot of damage just casually. Out Stomp, Lift and Kuno Pain.
He's about to spawn here.
They have a static storm here, but a BKB comes out. Pop, still available to turn this around here with nullify the Master. He's walking it off though, and yeah. Yeah, but they have some own burst damage to throw out through the BKB even, so both teams just pressuring each other back and forth, just casting some spells, trying to go for some pickoffs, but it looks like Team Spirit. The Glimmer Cape TP, the fear is there. Not from Terrorized, but from the Scream of Pain here. Quad being level 25, having an extra bit of lockdown, extra bit of control. Coming in clutch there to get that kill. And now Roshan, right for the taking for Team Spirit once again.
Buyback. Do they even feel comfortable going here now? Lanes are kind of pushed in.
Just finds another one. Indeed, it's not a buyback. They need to have some revenge here. They find the stun. Dahak is there. Stealing some damage here. Oh God, not again!
God.
Oh, this must feel super bad. They did not have the BKBs, I believe.
Oh, they're gonna get Brew here. He's dead.
It was a tilt play. It was Joshua kept saying, I really want to finish off this kill. I'm the only one who can just go through that.
They do have buyback on Brew though, but
yeah.
Bignum does not have buyback, and they know that because he did buyback in the most recent fight, I think.
Well then, there you go. Guys, doing so much damage. Dragon Knight barely being kept alive by the Glimmer Cape and his BKB, but he has to limp back to base now. Bruma's ultimate once again coming off cooldown very quickly, but it's just eating through his Brewlings, already retreating the Storm Panda. That's the only one available, the only one left alive, I do believe. His Venstorm bites back now. The Hawk in front muted by Nullifier, but Team Spirit, they're focusing on the racks first. Static Storm coming through, doesn't really matter, everyone still has the BKBs, and Team Spirit tossing people around left, right, and center. The Sonic Wave, the Blink forward, double kill for G. Beautiful way to end this game with a full 5-man wipe as Bignum, well, he was dead a little bit earlier, just had to look as his team died inside of his base, forced to call the GG, and it is Team Spirit who move on here in the StarLadder CIS Qualifiers.
Yeah, that was a really close series, and in the end, Team Spirit comes out ahead.
Yep.
I did think that Team Spirit would be like Team Spirit. They've had some good results. I thought they would be quite convincing in this one, but not at all. It was for sure down to a real nail-biting series.
Yeah. Was game number 1, if you remember that. Gambit was playing very well. Game number 2, they got brooded, so Team Spirit perhaps with a bit of a cheese strat, pulling out the victory there. But they've also shown game number 3 that they can play Dota, right? Obviously. All of them are veterans in the scene, and they've shown once again that they not just have like the individual skill, but also the coordination and the patience to just not go YOLO all the time and just lose a clutch team fight. Being very patient here, especially around that last Roshan. So, certainly deserved victory here for Team Spirit, but Gambit also looking hopeful for the next couple of qualifiers here. Looking forward to seeing them shore up some of their difficulties, some of their problems.
And especially Vega versus Spirit should be a great game.
Oh yeah. And that's coming up right now, actually. Gonna probably take a short break to make sure the team can get some drinks with a snack to eat or something, or at least Team Spirit, as Vega is already waiting for them in the next round. So do stay tuned for that. See you then.